My friend just had a baby, and while in the past I would have normally purchased a gift to send it to her, I decided that since this is the year of discovering sewing and everything that I can make by hand, I would make her a baby present. I decided on this adorable little lovey. I was inspired by a tutorial that I saw on YouTube, and I'll tag the creator below, but basically it involved creating my own pattern, which was so fun. A little harrowing, but I figured it out in the end. And the first step was to draw out the face of the bunny. Then I used the template to create two separate pieces of cloth that I sewed together using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and repeated the process for the back of the bunny's head before turning them right sides facing and carefully sketching around the outline of the bunny's head. And all I had to do was sew around the outline very carefully to make sure it was all secure, leaving the neck part open so I could flip it through. And once it was flipped right side out, I just had to stuff it, and my bunny head was complete. This was actually pretty easy, and it was made easier by the fact that I had made a couple stuffed animals over December and learned from several mistakes along the way. Once the head was stuffed, I set that aside, and it was time to work on the blanket part of this little lovey. I knew I wanted the blanket to be about 12 inches by 12 inches, and while I did cut the blue fabric to the exact length and width I wanted, I made sure to cut the quilted portion a little bit bigger because I wanted to give myself room for error. First, I quickly embroidered her name onto the blue fabric using a chain stitch, which, side note, I love how that turned out. It's so cute. I'm obsessed with chain stitching. Then pinned my backing fabric and quilt batting together before sewing on diagonal lines. This was so easy now. I feel like I'm such a pro at quilting things together at this point. It is a great feeling. Then it was time to stitch everything together, which was a pretty straightforward process. If you've sewn before, you can kind of see what I'm doing here and figure out the details for yourself. Instead of leaving it as a square or rectangle, I decided to make it into a more trapezoidal shape because I thought that would be a little bit easier for a baby to hold, and my friend can always snip that stitch if she wants to. But here she is. I love how this turned out. It is so cute.